Welcome to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain with, I want to think, the coolest of cool, the most motivating person that I know. I believe in myself, zone, Andreas Luis. Right?
Happy to be here, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to bring, man. The energy,
ready
baby.
to keep it live once more. And then also in studio, kind of as our cheerleaders and kind of background dancers till later on, we have Enrique Ramirez in studio, right?
Yes,
Tell us more about Enrique Ramirez.
Great man with Solar Revenue, but not just that, man. A great human being. I've worked with Enrique for some time, known each other for a couple of years. And, man, I'm just so grateful to have you, brother.
Yeah, thanks for being here with us, brother.
Thank you. Really excited to be here.
And then also we have the man with the plan. I would say that even if he wasn't my direct supervisor at La Frontera. I do a little moonlighting myself, to take off my Pastor John hat, and I put on my John McClain hat, and I work as a behavioral health professional over at La Frontera. And we have Guillermo, you say his last name.
Andrade.
Andrade,
Yes.
in studio with us. Thank you, Mr. Guillermo.
Thank you, Mr. McClain. Thank you so very much.
And hopefully
Happy to be here.
this first half of the show, I won't let you down. I'll show you how good a show we're going to have. And we're going to have him on for the second half of the show.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like usual, we will have, we'll start this little party off with Pastor John McClain's verse of the week. For the second little part of this ditty, we'll have the I Believe in Myself tips of the week. And then for the whole second half of this little party, we will have Guillermo on with La Frontera's supportive housing department, just to tell us all the amazing things that are not only happening in La Frontera, but the specifics of like what's happening in this supportive housing department that I work at. So I know a lot of the cool stuff. I try not to give away any of the goodies. We'll let everybody know the magic that is La Frontera.
Yep.
But like I do every show, just because, man, for those that don't know, I love God. I love him so much. I want to give him all the grace, and that's why we put him first on this show. And we're going to go ahead and start with the serenity prayer. So, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, so awesome. I love that, man. Every time it gets me,
Yeah.
as I'm reading it, I'm
Yeah,
trying to hold on to it, the excitement from jumping out. So we will transition to this week's Pastor John's verse of the week. And I want to do something a little special this week. For those who really just want a verse and need a verse, go ahead and look up John 3:16. But this week, I'm going to be talking about something out of the book, The Four Agreements, for those that have picked that up.
Yeah.
And it's super special to me because it kind of touches on, something we all deal with, whether it's in dealing with the world or the way we deal with the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little story about a daughter and her mother. And it goes a little something like this. There was a woman who was intelligent and had a very good heart. She had a daughter whom she adored and loved very much. One night she came home from a very bad day at work, tired and full of emotional tension, and with a terrible headache. She wanted peace and quiet, but her daughter was singing and jumping happily. The daughter was unaware of how her mother was feeling. She was in her own world and in her own dream. She felt so wonderful, and she was jumping and singing louder and louder, expressing her joy and her love. She was singing so loud that it made her mother's headache even worse. And at a certain moment, the mother lost control. Angrily, she looked at her beautiful little girl and said, "Shut up. You have an ugly voice. You can just shut up." The truth is that the mother's tolerance for any noise was non-existent. It was not the little girl's voice that was ugly, but the daughter believed what her mother said in that moment, made an agreement with herself. After that, she no longer sang, because she believed her voice was ugly and would bother anyone who heard it. She became shy at school, and if she was asked to sing, she refused. So this story, it definitely, when I read it, it hit me hard, and sharing it with you, there are definitely 3 thoughts that I want you to think about. Is one, who in your life has said to you or done to you something when you were in the place of that little girl? Who told you you shouldn't dance because you look silly when you dance? Or who told you you shouldn't sing because you have an ugly voice, or you sound silly when you sing? Or who told you you're not smart or you're stupid? Who told you that? And what are you going to do to fight through that? Because that's not true. All those things that you were told were not true. Hold that in your head and remember that and fight through it. Second thought that I want you to go ahead and hold on to is, who possibly have you hurt by saying things just in anger or when you had a bad day, and what can you do to not do that again? And the big thing, the third thing I want you to take away from this, and my experience, Pastor John's experience in dealing with this, is, I definitely saw this not too long ago with my 11-year-old son, Kobe, and we were playing basketball, and he shot a silly shot. He was just being silly, and he shot way past the hoop. And then his 12-year-old brother, he's like, "Hey, go get the ball, Jonathan." And I looked at him and I said, "What are you, a little princess? Why don't you go get the ball?" And the next time we played basketball, about a week later, same thing happened. Did a silly shot, shot a little bit too far, and he looked at me, hesitated quickly, but then ran and got it. But I could tell that resonated in his mind, that his dad called him a little princess. And I mean, it still sticks out to me to this day, and I've apologized to him since, because these are the hurts that we create. These are the hurts that we've received, that we really have to kind of push through and make sure that we don't inhibit on those that are around us that we care about. So on that note, on Pastor John McClain's verse of the week, I'm going to turn it over to one of my best buddies, Andreas, and get your thoughts on that.
First of all, that's beautiful what you did for your son. You apologize, which is very manly of you to do. Many times we never got that when we were little. We were never told, "I'm sorry, son, for what I told you." And for you to do that, that's amazing. And you're right. The words that we speak are so powerful, because our words, they create a thought, creates a feeling. We take an action, we get a result. If we get a negative result, here comes another negative thought, feeling, action, result. And we think 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Yeah. So just think about that, 3,000 thoughts per hour. And if we're not standing guard at the door of our mind, a lot of that negativity that gets in from somebody else's words can become our reality. Yeah. So man, I appreciate you for telling your brother, your son, I apologize, son, for what I'm telling you. And because you see that you're human, you make mistakes. I make mistakes too. I yell at my son sometimes, and I tell him, "I'm sorry. It's okay." You know what I mean? Yeah. But man, I acknowledge you so much for that. I appreciate that.
And I mean, in a lot of ways, I got this from something you mentioned on the show a couple shows ago. And it's beautiful. I'm definitely glad we have this show to kind of share that with people, and to kind of give them to something to think about. And their day-to-day living. We kind of just go through our life and we don't consider how we can be better people, or how we can live more in line with God, or how day-to-day we can love our neighbor as we love ourselves. It really sometimes doesn't even register on our brain. But I love when we have these type of opportunities to do this for people. Yeah. And we'll go ahead. In a minute, we're going to go thank our sponsors, but I want to let everybody know about Here Comes That Dreamer. It's a documentary that's coming out. It'll be playing at the Harkin Spectrum 18 on November 15th. It is actually featuring the work of yours truly and the work we've been doing for the past decade. Go to herecomesthatdreamer.com to get those tickets. You could only pre-order those tickets, so please go ahead and get those tickets before November 15th, so you can see the world premiere of this feature documentary. And I look forward to meeting all of you, and hopefully get you a signed copy of my book while you're there. Thank you again for listening to Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain, here with Andreas Ruiz.
Dear Alyssa, the how-to guide to social change by John McClain is the inside look to the life of a man that served through war, politics, homelessness, and drug addiction. and he turned it all into an opportunity to teach and help others, culminating into the making of the book Dear Alyssa, a how-to guide to social change designed for the author's daughter. Go to Amazon.com to order a copy of Dear Alyssa, a how-to guide to social change today. Whether you want to know how to be an entrepreneur, get into politics, or just read an inspiring story.
The primary teaching mechanism at Tucson International Academy will continue to be in person, in classroom, as this is the best method for most of what your child needs to learn, and what has dramatically contributed to Tucson International Academy's record of 100% of their seniors being accepted for college. Call Tucson International Academy today at 230-3828 or go to TucsonInternationalAcademy.com to provide your child with the greatest possibility of reaching the next level.
North Star Hyperbaric is an alternative treatment center that uses hyperbaric oxygen therapy, HBOT, to deliver the benefits of 100% medical-grade oxygen under pressure to injured tissue, enhancing oxygen delivery 7 to 12 times normal. Dr. Carol Hendricks of North Star Hyperbaric is a practicing neurologist who specializes in the use of HBOT and pulsed electromagnetic field therapy to help heal her patients. Go to NorthstarHBOT.com today to schedule a consultation.
Hey Tucson, make a difference in our community by trying your luck in the Rotary Club of Tucson Classic Corvette Raffle. Purchase a $5 raffle ticket to have a chance to win a spectacular 2007 Corvette, or opt for $15,000 in cash, or win one of several other great prizes. 100% of the net proceeds go to JTED, helping kids with career and college-ready skills, and Make Way for Books. Buy your $5 ticket now at RotaryTCCS.com.
29 years ago, the Sunnyside Foundation was created by alumni to provide enriched educational opportunities for students from the Sunnyside Unified School District to prepare them for college, career, and community. The foundation funds excellence in education and the Emergency Relief Fund. During these trying times, 1030 The Voice invites you to participate in Sunnyside Gives Day by giving online at sunnysidefoundation.org through Tuesday, September 22nd. Thanks for making a difference with 1030 The Voice.
There's a place to share the joy of your team winning it all, and a place to share a laugh about skiing and taking a fall. There's a place to share photos of pets, or singing in the choir, or the time you ate a pepper and your mouth was on fire. But we could all be better at sharing how we're feeling inside. 76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone. Ask about your company's emotional health benefits. Visit heart.org/sharing. Brought to you by the American Heart Association.
This is Bill Buckmaster. The Buckmaster Show features Arizona newsmakers and more than 24 Buckmaster Show contributors. Everything from foreign affairs to the arts is on the table and open for discussion, and your calls from one end of southern Arizona to the other. The Buckmaster Show, weekdays live during the noon hour on 1030 Tucson's Voice for Trusted News Talk, always on buckmastershow.com.
Welcome back once again. Lucky you get to listen to the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain. I'm with the Colossal of Cool, the Master of Mastery, the Feng Shui of Flow, Mr. Andreas Ruiz with I Believe in Myself.
Thank you, man. Yes. I'm
the
so
dude
happy.
is
man.
here. He's
so
here. He's kind of
yeah.
he's like the modern Fonzie, I'd like to think.
Modern
He's
Fonzie.
Just slick, dude. You are that dude.
Hey,
Yeah.
is that what
Hey,
you
yeah, that's it. Hey. Yeah.
man.
And then also in studio with us, we have, and I mentioned last segment, we have my assistant, Jeremiah Montgomery, also a pretty slick dude, here to take pictures of us and memorialize this moment. And then we also have Enrique Ramirez here in studio, plugging something, right? He's
yeah,
here to
absolutely.
plug
Yeah,
something,
man.
right?
Tell us just a little bit, about solar revenue and the opportunities that are here in Tucson, man.
Okay. So what we do is we first try to help as many people as we can through our community. We're building a team of self-development and leadership. And how we do that is we first give people an opportunity to find a real career when they can actually grow, and we give them the process of how to do it.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
so I've been doing that for over 5 years. Through this time, we go to seminars, we go to different places, we teach them how to do affirmations
Nice.
and how to go through breakthroughs.
And
kinda
just
keep
real
growing.
quick, how do they get a hold of you if they want to get involved?
Okay, good question. You can find me on Facebook at
Okay.
Enrique Ramirez
Enrique Ramirez,
or at solarrevenue.com, just one
Solar-
R.
solarrevenue.com.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, guys, if you guys are looking for an opportunity to, he's bringing a team here to Tucson, Arizona, I believe.
Correct.
And so, if you guys are interested, reach out to him. Do you want to give him your number?
Yes,
Yeah.
my phone number it's 909-961-1032.
Excellent.
919.
909-961-1032.
Perfect.
Yes,
Awesome.
excellent. Yeah.
And then also we have, I want to thank one of the most amazing people in the world, my boss,
Yeah.
Guillermo Instituto. And I don't, man, Andrade?
Andrade.
Andrade.
Yeah.
Andrade. Man, I'll get it. I will.
You'll get it,
I've
you'll
lived
get
in Tucson for 20 years, so you think I would know, but I'll get it. And he's my boss. So
Hey, well, I
imagine
got
know how to say
relatives.
my
They've
boss
been here for
twice.
40 years, and they're like, I don't speak
Yeah,
English.
I'll get it.
So it's okay. It's
well,
all
luckily
good.
he's the coolest boss one could ask for, so he
Absolutely.
won't penalize
Yeah.
me. I don't.
Dude,
but
I already. This guy's
I
amazing,
get it.
man. For sure.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. So this segment, I hear it's something special. Have you heard about this cool segment that's coming up right
Yeah,
now?
yeah. I think I've heard about it a
It's
couple
I
times.
believe in myself tips of the week, brought to you by Andreas Ruiz.
Yes.
You gotta go.
Ruiz.
Yeah.
Yes. So today I want to talk about the seeds that we plant in life.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in a world of instant gratification where if we want a movie, we can get it immediately, just like that. If we want a package delivered, we can get it delivered by the next day, even the next day. If we want to date somebody, hey, we can just swipe and boom, we have somebody to date.
Mm-hmm.
And because we live in a world of instant gratification, we want instant gratification when it comes to our health, wealth, business. And if we don't get instant gratification, then we give up. And so today what I want to talk about is the seeds that we are planting throughout the years when it comes to our business, when it comes to health or relationships. I'll just give you an example. For me, it's been years that I've been planting seeds in regards to service and what I do for other people. And all these seeds, sometimes we plant them and then we expect them to just grow right away.
Mm-hmm.
And life doesn't work that way. We're looking at it and we're like, come on, man, we just planted you. Like, why aren't you giving me money?
Yeah.
And it doesn't work that way. And my good mentor, Enrique Feldman, he told me sometimes what we do is we put all those seeds, but we have to continue to water those seeds through service, through a kind word, through just supporting somebody. And the more that we water those seeds, eventually they will start to grow. But if you stop watering that seed, it'll eventually die because you're not doing that when it comes to business. Sometimes the follow-up, I know Enrique knows about that, just following up and saying, hey, how are you doing? How can I help you? How can I be of service? But we're always thinking about what's in it for me. What is in it for me? And when we think about what's in it for me, what we're really doing, we're being selfish. We're not even thinking about why we got into this type of business first, which is service. We're here to serve people. We're here to help people. But we forget that and we lose sight of that. I've lost sight of that. We talk about this and I've lost sight of it sometimes. And I forget that what am I really in it for? And we had a big conversation, you and I, on last Thursday, and you grounded me. You brought me back to just humbling myself and reminding myself what I'm really in it for is I'm here to serve. I'm here to help people. And I'm here to continue to water those seeds until they become that beautiful flower. And so for any of you that are struggling with getting to where you desire, it's going to take not months. It's going to take years. It's going to take maybe decades. But like one of my clients told me, he said, hey, man, I'm going to be 35 by then if I have to do this for 10 years. Well, even if you don't do it, you're still going to be 35. So why not do what you love? Why not be of service? And some way, somehow, it'll all come back to you. It's like that law of attraction. Whatever you put out there, you'll get in return. But if we don't get it in return like that, then we give up and we feel like, oh, this is not working. I'm going to give up. And that's the only way that you can truly fail is if you give up. Yeah. But if you just continue moving forward and getting getting beat up and failing and making mistakes and being okay, just getting back up and just moving forward. And the most important thing for me has been having great people around me, mentors, coaches like yourself, Enrique, has been around me, and you've been around me, and you guys have an influence on me. You push me to keep moving forward. So what I want to say is continue to to put water on those seeds and continue to serve, and just remember what you're in it for. don't think about you. Think about what can I do for somebody else.
Mm.
You know, so that's what my thoughts are about that. What are your thoughts?
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we I'm glad you brought this up because we talked about this. I think a lot this past Thursday as well as like kind of a lot this past week, hours, because it's just both of us have had so many successes, so many amazing things kind of come into our life recently, and it's humbling. I mean, it's really hard to deal with. Particularly, I'll speak on my own situation, whether it's having the book just released or this documentary that's coming out about the work that I've done, or the great stuff that's coming out of La Frontera and the things that's happening there, or my own project, Veteran Rescue Mission, and the great things that are happening with our tiny house village. There's just so many amazing things are happening, and I'm realizing, okay, I do deserve this one because I did, like you said, like I watered those seeds, and I made sure, like when the leaves started turning a little yellow, I backed on the water and didn't give it so much water, and I made sure that I got rid of all the vermin that may come in the area. So I mean, it was the hard work that kind of got me to this point, and it makes me hopeful moving forward because I know if I continue to put forward that hard work and watering those seeds and making good decisions, I'll continue to bear good fruit. So yeah, I love that you brought this up so we can kind of just continue to circle around this and give this type of hope to other people. Like, hey, I know sometimes it can be hopeless, particularly, recovering from drug addiction, like I'm dealing with, like a lot of people I work with deal with, whatever it is you're recovering from. Just know that there is hope around the corner. All you have to do is just plant that seed, whether it's quit smoking, and then water that seed of not smoking following that. So thank you for sharing this with us again.
Yes, absolutely, man. So yeah, thank you everyone for listening, and thank you for sharing your experience as well, man. I really appreciate it, and keep listening to the Common Good Radio Show. We will be back in a bit.
Yeah, that works.
La Frontera Center's supportive housing combines affordable housing assistance with wraparound supportive services for people experiencing homelessness, as well as people with disabilities. La Frontera supportive housing links decent, safe, affordable, community-based housing with flexible, voluntary supported services designed to help the individual live a more productive life. Go to lafronteraaz.org for assistance or to donate your time or resources to one of Arizona's most impactful organizations.
North Star Hyperbaric is an alternative treatment center that uses hyperbaric oxygen therapy, HBOT, to deliver the benefits of 100% medical-grade oxygen under pressure to injured tissue, enhancing oxygen delivery 7 to 12 times normal. Dr. Carol Hendricks of North Star Hyperbaric is a practicing neurologist who specializes in the use of HBOT and pulsed electromagnetic field therapy to help heal her patients. Go to northstarhbot.com today to schedule a consultation.
MBS Arts provides fine arts based on solutions for all your home and business needs. Originally designed, affordable, and unique paintings, drawings, and murals can easily be commissioned. Artist Michael B. Schwartz has been proudly serving Arizona communities since 1988, including Homeless Veterans Transition Center, Veteran Rescue Mission. If you're looking for your own personalized fine art made possibly by a famous artist, contact
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Las Vegas is feeling the pain of the coronavirus pandemic.
Las Vegas saw its visitors fall 61% in July compared to a year ago. That was the first full month they've been open. They started opening casinos there in early June.
Chris Palmieri wrote the story for Bloomberg News.
When you're talking about these destination markets people have to get on an airplane to visit, they're just not doing so.
But that does mean deals for people who are willing to travel.
You can find a room there, particularly midweek, incredibly cheap, under $50 a night for really nice high-end properties.
However, even those cheap hotel rooms have not been sufficient to stop steep layoffs.
MGM, which is the largest operator of casinos on the Las Vegas Strip, said that they were going to permanently lay off 18,000 employees, which is about a quarter of their U.S. workforce.
All of this is combining to hurt Nevada tax revenue at a time when virus-related expenses are rising. I'm Charlie Pellet, Bloomberg Radio.
CBS News Brief. In many parts of California today, wildfires are raging and endangering homes and residents. CBS News meteorologist Jeff Biradelli.
Fires are sparking up quickly. They're getting out of control, and it's going to get worse over the next couple of days because the heat will continue.
And throughout the Golden State today, there is oppressive heat, lots of locations in triple digits. CBS News Director of Elections and Surveys Anthony Salvanto says a key issue this November is going to be voter enthusiasm.
Very much about intensity. We have seen, especially since the conventions, voters locked in. We're approaching 9 in 10 who say their mind is made up.
And at the U.S. Open tennis tournament in New York, shocking developments today. The men's #1 seed Novak Djokovic hit the ball in disgust after losing a point in his match. The ball hit a line judge. Even though it was unintentional, Djokovic is out. He has been disqualified. CBS News Brief. I'm Steve Futterman.
Tired of lying awake, tossing and turning, just hoping for a few hours of sleep? Get the sleep you crave with the one-of-a-kind Tempur-Pedic. Only Tempur-Pedic uses proprietary Tempur material that continuously adapts and responds to your body to relieve pressure, so you get deep, uninterrupted sleep all night, every night. The Tempur-Pedic Summer of Sleep is going on now. Take advantage of our best offer of the year and experience your best sleep of the summer. All Tempur-Pedic mattresses are on sale with select savings up to $500. Learn more at TempurPedic.com.
Are you interested in trees and forests?
Arizona is home to over 20 million acres of forest, including trees like mesquite in the desert, pines in the mountains, and even aspen in the high country.
Fire plays a key role in Arizona forests, and local chapters of the Society of American Foresters, SAF, will discuss the recent bighorn fire near Tucson.
Online, this meeting will be Thursday, September 10th at noon and is open to all.
To register for this free event, go to aztrees.org.
That's aztrees, one word, .org.
One of the most important things for veterans is to be heard, and VA is listening. Appeals modernization is changing the way VA decision disagreements are processed, for the better.
Veterans, if you disagree with an initial VA claim decision received after February 2019, you have a choice of 3 review lanes. Contact an accredited representative to help you decide which choice is right for you. For more information, visit va.gov/decision-reviews.
I can take control with VA's new, faster review process.
If you like sitting around the porch or dinner table sharing stories with friends, that's what we like to do here at Our American Stories. I'm Lee Habib. We bring to you stories about American love, funny stories about first jobs, this day in history, American dreamers and marriages, and even the stories of music and acting legends. I invite you to sit around the porch with us as we share Our American Stories, 4 to 6 p.m. weekday afternoons on 1030 The Voice, trusted local news and talk.
Welcome back to Common Good Radio, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, and they know who I'm here with. They know who I'm here with, Mr. Cool. If they're not watching, I feel bad for them, but Andreas Ruiz is in studio with me, the co-host of the Common Good Radio Show, and I want to think that we've been killing the game so far. What do you think?
We've been killing the game.
Yeah,
big
I want
time,
to think
man.
so. We
It's
just
been
got
fun.
so many people
fun.
in the studio, so
Energy.
we're having like a party up in here.
Dude,
Like,
energy's
I don't
flowing,
know,
bro.
like if the Pima County Health Department was watching right now, they might be saying, "Hey, you guys maybe have one too many people in that room." But we love you, Pima County Health Department. We're keeping distance. Jeremiah's not breathing in any of our faces. I told him, so we're good. But that aside, we're here, and we still have in studio with us Mr. Enrique Ramirez, and he is out spreading the love on a lot of different things. Definitely, he's a spreading the love with motivational speaking, and he's also spreading the love with solar stuff. I was talking about earlier. I think you're like $1,000 special to sign up for solar stuff.
Yes,
Tell me
so
about
we
that
are,
real quick before we
we're
jump into
helping
it.
pretty much our team grow and kind of like help the community as they're helping us. So it's pure introduction. So you give us an introduction for somebody you know,
Okay.
and we'll give you $1,000 for that. If you don't want to take the money, then you tell us where to make that donation, and we're going to go ahead and donate that money for you.
Awesome.
And so that's the idea. 909-961-1032.
Boom.
Boom.
See, this guy's a pro.
I know, man.
See,
Yeah,
you
what's
only
up?
hang out with pros, isn't it? I'm starting to learn now. Okay, well, let me introduce you to some of the people that I know. Okay,
Yeah.
so my direct supervisor at La Frontera, he is actually the director of supportive housing, and he goes by, everybody on the streets, they know him as Guillermo. But in the studio, by his professional name, we know him by Mr. Andrade.
I'm Mr. Andrade. There you go.
Mr.
Boom.
Andrade.
You got it,
See,
man.
yeah,
Oh,
boom.
yeah.
See, I can learn. I
There you
can
go.
be taught.
It's quick.
Thank you for being here with us, Guillermo. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Pastor John. Thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah.
And thank you for this wonderful opportunity. You know, in life, a man is grateful for the things that the good Lord gives him. And I'd like to have a shout out for my wife, my beautiful wife, Maria, my wonderful children, Memo and Marlisa.
Nice.
I know that they're at home listening. I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I love them very much, and I want them to know that.
That
Thank you,
he
sir.
just how many
Big
brownie
shout out.
points did he just earn
Oh, I
right
know,
now?
dude. He's
Man,
getting
that's
good
like he
dinner
just
tonight.
went off the chart with those brownie points. Okay,
Yeah.
I see you, Guillermo. All right, I just learned something. Write down, do that.
Yeah, I know. Me too, man. I know. That's what I'm gonna do in the first.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks.
awesome.
I'm very blessed to have a woman that loves me.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
great,
Beautiful.
man. Are you learning something from me?
Yeah, a lot, man. Shoot, I'm already got all these notes right here, man.
Okay, good, absolutely. Well, okay, well, cool. Now that we learned something there, let's learn something from kind of like a mental brain standpoint, because I know he's about to, like, I want to think the most excited to have him on. I mean, as I mentioned before on the show, I'm a behavioral health professional myself. I've worked at a lot of different of the sites that La Frontera has, whether it's been kind of the homeless services sites. They have sites that specifically focus on mental health and kind of treating people back into reintegration. We have sites that are apartment complexes for people just getting out of homelessness or still dealing with kind of mental health issues in some capacity. So it's been amazing kind of dealing with this large group of people that a lot of them I knew during my times living on the streets, or, you know, I've dealt with in some way. So it's been awesome. But, you know, I feel, as much as I feel like I cover there, you know, Guillermo, kind of tell us more, what is La Frontera, and kind of what is, you know, those out there in the world that have never heard about it before, like, what is La Frontera?
So La Frontera is a behavioral health provider. In fact, it's the largest behavioral health provider in Arizona.
Okay.
You know, we're all throughout Tucson. The headquarters is here on 29th, but we have satellite facilities all throughout the town, Tucson. I know recently they moved into southeastern Arizona, Benson, Douglas, that area.
Mhm.
I know that they have Impact is in Phoenix, which
Oh.
is like a suicide prevention kind of like hotline, and other lines that people would call in looking for assistance.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that we're in Phoenix, Tucson, southeastern Arizona, I think in Nogales as well.
Nice.
Like I said, the biggest behavioral health provider in the state,
Yeah.
my friend.
So you and I, we know each other. We've known each other for a while. I want to think almost like a decade now. And we knew each other when you were, I guess, a couple positions ago,
Yes,
and
sir.
you were the head of Sonora House.
That's right.
Yeah, and you were kind of like, you came out to Safe Park, my little kind of homeless camp on the street, and you're trying to help us. What even before that, what made you think to work for La Frontera? Like, what made you get into, you know, get with this company? Because you've been with it for a while. Because you've been with this company ever since you've known me, and we've known each other for a while. That's simple arithmetic for those that are keeping count at home.
Well, my friend, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
But for the sake of time, I'll just let you know that I've always wanted to help people. You know, I went to school, got a little, you know, got my bachelor's degree.
Nice.
Got a master's degree.
Okay,
Got a
Mr.
job.
Big Braid over here. I'm learning something new. Okay.
Hey, look here, man. And then after that, you know, I started working. I started working at La Frontera. It was the first real job I ever had.
Really?
You know, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've had other jobs before,
Mhm.
but this was kind of like a career. You know, I was going to work here.
Yeah, you were an Army vet. We're both Army vets. So we
Yeah.
had that, but that's not like, almost like not a real job. Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, you know, I started working, my friend, and I think I got a job as a case manager at first. And, you know, case management is tough. Case management is tough. You know, you have a huge caseload. You have people with what seems to be, you know, unsolvable problems. They're always looking for assistance, and sometimes the help they need is not the help you can give them, right?
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
but then then there's those few people that really, you know, that kind of keep you motivated, keep you going. But make a long story quick, so I eventually became the site supervisor of the Safe Haven of Sonora House, which is like a shelter, right? It's a place meant for people who are reluctant to engage in services. And you know, they're experiencing homelessness. You know, they at the time, 20 years ago when I first started, the Safe Haven was kind of a unique facility, right? It was a place, again, meant to target those people who were unwilling or unable for whatever reason to connect with behavioral health services. So it was a wild experience back then. You know, we were right on the streets. We were dealing with people who were in the throes of substance abuse, you know, homeless and been homeless for a long time, maybe recently released from prison and were back out on the streets, actively using drugs, as I said before. And we tried to engage them in a meaningful way, of course. You know, we would try to, you know, hey, listen, it doesn't have to be this way. You know, would you like to come on in from the cold or from the heat here in Arizona, you know? And sometimes, you know, sometimes what we gave them was day respite, right? They'd come in, they'd take a shower, maybe they could do some laundry, can get some food in their belly, and then they can go back out, right? Maybe tend to some wounds that they had on some beat up feet or you know, or rest their weary head.
Yeah.
We did that a lot, and you know, we were criticized back then for that, right? People called us a flop house.
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing? You know, why aren't they enrolled in behavioral health services? Why aren't they taking medication? Why ain't they seeing their case manager? Well, I mean, this population, that's exactly what they were reluctant to do. You know, so we try to build rapport with them, build that bridge, see if they could come on in and get help. And that was the Safe Haven, you know. It was a tough spot back then.
Yeah.
It's a tough place to be.
Yeah,
John's been there before.
It's come quite a ways. Yeah, I've worked there for quite a while, and I definitely I've seen it grow. I mean, I've seen
it has
you know,
grown.
what you've done, and I think in a lot of ways we're working toward kind of where I am now. You know, even I feel like I've grown within the company where I moved to a different part. I guess, you know, what you're going to ask him about supportive housing.
Yeah. So, you know, I do see that you are the director of supportive housing with La Frontera. So what does that exactly entail?
What that entails is La Frontera has housing, right? I mean, they're a behavioral health provider. There's over like 10,000 enrolled clients. Very few of them are fortunate enough to actually have housing within La Frontera. And it's not necessarily La Frontera's housing, it's subsidy. So they receive subsidy either from the city or from the state, and then we provide those wraparound services.
Okay.
Wraparound services are the services that help these people maintain their housing, right? Some of these people were formerly homeless. They're mostly all low income. They have a disability of a kind, sometimes like a severe disability, right? Or a serious mental illness, if you will. So, you know, helping them maintain their place is a job all within itself, you know?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes they engage in behavior that is not very neighborly. You know, maybe they're dealing with substance abuse, or they're dealing with their mental illness, and it's hard for them to live in a community. So we try to promote, you know, healthy communities. We try to promote those healthy habits. We kind of go, we're like we're go between the tenant, the landlord, and then of course the clinical services, where they would see their doctor, their case manager, maybe take medication, get into treatment, right? But our number one role as a supportive services department is to kind of mitigate landlord-tenant issues, right? Because the tenant is receiving subsidy, and these wraparound services, as I said earlier, that help them maintain occupancy, right, in the community. That's the important part. Is part of the subsidy is that they have to be in the community.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go ahead and we are going to give some love and respect to La Frontera, who's also a sponsor on this show, play a little bit of commercials. Definitely, we'll be back after this break with Guillermo to ask him some more questions. If you want to call in and ask some questions yourself, the number is 790-2040. Also, go to veteranrescuemission.org. Check us out, some of the good work that we're doing. We have books, we have shirts, we have movie tickets, we have a donation site if you want to help us build some more tiny houses so we can transition some veterans into housing, and a lot of great information of ways you can help in the community. Thank you for listening. This is the Common Good Radio Show, and I am Pastor John McLean.
Here Comes That Dreamer is a film documentary created by P.J. McCardle, premiering at Harkins Tucson Spectrum 18 on November 15. It's about an Iraq War veteran who comes home and uses war tactics he learned in Iraq to fight for the homeless in Tucson. To order tickets to the premiere, to get a copy of the documentary Here Comes That Dreamer, or to find out how you can show support and get involved with helping Tucson's homeless population, visit HereComesThatDreamer.com.
The primary teaching mechanism at Tucson International Academy will continue to be in person, in classroom, as this is the best method for most of what your child needs to learn, and what has dramatically contributed to Tucson International Academy's record of 100% of their seniors being accepted for college. Call Tucson International Academy today at 230-3828 or go to TucsonInternationalAcademy.com to provide your child with the greatest possibility of reaching the next level.
La Frontera Center's supportive housing combines affordable housing assistance with wraparound supportive services for people experiencing homelessness, as well as people with disabilities. La Frontera supportive housing links decent, safe, affordable, community-based housing with flexible, voluntary supported services designed to help the individual live a more productive life. Go to lafronteraaz.org for assistance or to donate your time or resources to one of Arizona's most impactful organizations.
MBS Arts provides fine arts based on solutions for all your home and business needs. Originally designed, affordable, and unique paintings, drawings, and murals can easily be commissioned. Artist Michael B. Schwartz has been proudly serving Arizona communities since 1988, including Homeless Veterans Transition Center, Veteran Rescue Mission. If you're looking for your own personalized fine art made possibly by a famous artist, contact MBS Arts today.
Adopt from the Humane Society of Southern Arizona and you'll save more than one pet. You'll also make room for the next pet in need. Adopting from the Humane Society is different. We have healthy, loving pets in clean facilities, a stress-free environment, and knowledgeable staff to help you find the right pet for your family. Open daily at 635 West Roger Road. Learn more and see pets online at hssaz.org.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The Joe Walsh Show.
We may disagree politically. I may be a conservative. You may be a liberal. You may be an independent, a libertarian, an anarchist, whatever the heck you are. We all love the country. And if you can't take that first step, again, don't listen to this show. If you do not believe that the people who disagree with you politically love this country, if you can't go there, then I don't want to deal with you.
Weeknights from 7 to 9 on 1030 The Voice. Trusted local news and talk.
Welcome back to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, and we got to think of a real slick nickname for you. What do you think? You can think of anything maybe that you got back in the day that Romeo, now. Like the Romeo from the South?
Oh no, it was definitely not Romeo. No, it was actually at one point they called me a Pinky because me and my buddy, he had a big head, he was really short. They call him Brain.
It can't be that.
I was Pinky, so yeah.
We're
definitely not Pinky.
We're gonna start brand new. All right, but we have Andreas Ruiz here with me, like always.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then let's go ahead and dress him down one more time. We have Enrique Ramirez here, and he's just being awesome with us.
Yeah,
He's
dude,
been
absolutely, man.
a great guest, kind of just pumping up the energy. We've done everything except for kind of some level of motivational chant at the beginning of it.
Incantation.
Yeah, but it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then as we were talking to before we went to the break, we got Guillermo Andrade. Right? Andrade, man.
Almost there, bro. It's okay.
Man, I had one out of 4 times I got it correct, so that counts for something. And he's my direct supervisor at La Frontera. He is the director of supportive housing, and we were talking all the cool stuff that kind of he's got to be involved with and what brought him into it before the break. And now after the break, Mr. Guillermo, we're gonna circle around kind of some topical stuff. I usually don't do too much topical stuff. Let's try it, and tell us what's La Frontera been doing to kind of deal with COVID-19 and all that stuffs.
So La Frontera's been doing mostly following the CDC guidelines, right? You know, there's really nothing special other than following those rules, keeping, you know, distance. We try to minimize client contact, right?
I should have told you this before the break, but I'll tell you this now. You have to speak
I know, I'm so
3
sorry,
inches
my
away from the mic, or pretty much it's as if you're talking from the other side of the room. It's
I-
my fault. It's not your fault.
It's
yeah.
fine.
Please don't
I'm
fire
a bad
me for
host.
this.
Yeah. no, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, John. I
Yeah.
apologize,
Yeah,
my
no
friend. I know
worries,
you've indicated a few times to get closer to the mic. Yeah, so John, to answer your question, my friend, the CDC guidelines is basically what we have in place. You know, this is all unprecedented. You know, we have what's different about housing than the clinic is that people come into the clinic and they come to get services, right? And you know, you can kind of reduce client to clinician exposure by, you know, telecom, or you know, the clients come into one room and they see a clinician in another room, and they're able to I'm sorry again, man.
I'll pull it out
No, it's all good, man.
I'll pull it out toward you, and then we're sitting pretty. You just are very. I wish if you're not watching online on Facebook, I'm sorry for you, because he's just an actionable guy and he's got lots of characters. So you guys are missing out. But
Yeah, John, let's take some questions, man. Come on. I know my family's dying to call in. What's the number for them to call in?
Okay, well, we'll jump to like a more fun question.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Okay, so for the people that are listening, and like, man, it's if you haven't got the opportunity to interact with Guillermo, whether as a La Frontera client or just in general out in this world, I hope you do get the chance to. But those who need services or think they know someone who does, like, what is the process of getting involved in La Frontera services?
You know, John, it couldn't be any easier, my friend. I tell people all the time that call me, family members who have, children or relatives that are going through a hard time. They want to know, how do we get this ball rolling? The gentleman, you know, he obviously needs help. He's willing to accept help. And it couldn't be any easier, my friend. You literally walk into a La Frontera facility. And while you're there, the first time, it's about a 5-minute experience. You walk in and they actually set an appointment and they give you a list of things to bring with you. You know, of course, those essential documents like your ID, maybe your insurance carrier. And then that's it, my friend. You walk through the front door. That's the easiest way to get it going. 5 minutes the first time. The second time's a little more detailed process. It's called what they call an intake, and that's about an hour and a half, and that's where you sit down with a professional and they're going to assess your needs. You know, how can we help you? And I hear that it's a process that kind of teases out what exact services that we offer are best fit for your needs.
And a fun question I would love to hear your answer on, and that I get a lot, is like, why are there so many homeless people? Why isn't everybody getting services? And like, what can you advise to like people that are trying to get people help or that need help, like what they need to prepare themselves for to get those services? Because I know I've heard you say so many times, I wish I had a desk full of keys just to hand to you, but it's not quite that easy. There's more to it. Like I mean, like you said, the documents and so on, but outside of that, what are these barriers that seems to be making it so there are so many homeless people, as you know, as we all see?
Well, I would say, John, the biggest barrier is the availability, the availability of affordable housing, my friend. You know, like I say that to you all the time about having a desk drawer full of keys. I get people call and say, "Hey, I'm with La Frontera, or I'm homeless and I need a house." Like, you know, and I'm like, "Well, this is a process, my friend. You know, you have to go through an intake. You have to go through this thing called the coordinated entry. You have to be matched. I mean, it goes on and on. And it's frustrating for a person who's experiencing homelessness right now, right, or a person who's living with relatives and maybe he's not welcome there anymore, right, or he's worn out his welcome. He has limited income, and he doesn't want to be homeless anymore. You know, living in shelters, living in the street, that could be tough, and it could be hard on somebody's well-being or their mental health, as you could just imagine what it's like to be out in the streets. You know, John, you know firsthand sort of how tough it is, right? Yeah. You know, when it's cold, when it's hot, if you're not feeling well. You know, a home is health care. That's where you rest. That's where you feel better. You eat. You know, and unfortunately, not everyone in this community has a home. You know, they are experiencing homelessness. Yeah. And that's, you know, that's what we do, is we try to help those people in need.
Well, I say I kind of with an addition onto that, just because you're talking about kind of availability of housing. And we just did a site tour at the old Gospel Rescue Mission site most recently. Like, what do you think of the idea of a tiny house village in the city of Tucson, and you doing these kind of alternative things, much like you see with the Safe Haven, the Sonora House, to try to remedy that availability issue?
Well, John, I really like that. I'm really excited by this tiny house village notion. I like the idea, kind of like what I say about not having a set of keys in my desk drawer. I like the fact that people can be homeless a day and maybe even housed that same day or that same evening, right? And the availability was there, or this opportunity for them to be housed comes up because one of the things that we say, even as earlier as I was saying that the La Frontera intake is an easy thing, you may go for help on Tuesday and they may say, hey, the next available intake appointment is the following Thursday. Well, man, when you're homeless, the world turns. Where are you going to be at 2 days from now? And how am I going to get there exactly at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. on a Tuesday? I don't know where I'm going to sleep tonight. So that part is tough. Time when you're homeless. Time isn't always your friend, So I like that idea. I like the idea of there being this kind of low barrier. I mean, there's no eligibility criteria. I'm homeless. I need a place to stay, and we can help you now. I love that. I love that idea, my friend. Unfortunately, that kind of availability or those programs are far and few in between. Sir.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have about a minute and a half left. I definitely, one thing I wanted to talk about, especially having referred so many of my friends, so many people in our program, Veteran Rescue Mission, into being employees at La Frontera. Like, what does the hiring process look like for La Frontera? And is La Frontera hiring during this time? I know a lot of organizations aren't hiring whatsoever. They're doing kind of like a freeze on those type of things. Like, what does that look like for La Frontera nowadays?
Well, I know that the hiring process has changed, but I do know that they are hiring, sir. I checked not too long ago on the website, and they still got some positions available. Person only needs to go to lafronteraArizona.com and, hit the employment button or seeking employment button, and then there'll be a list of jobs there. Check their qualifications against those jobs that are posted and apply, my friend. I know that they are hiring, and it's a wonderful place to work. I thank God for La Frontera. It's given me the opportunity to feed my family and have a home.
And it's
I'm very
a great
for
place to work. I mean,
it
like,
is, man.
Whether it's my supervisors, and I don't say that just because my supervisors in studio, or the people I work with, the clients, they're all amazing. And I'm going to close on that note. Thank you all for listening. This has been the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue.